It can increase the risk of recurrence and it can increase new growth.
Oh my gosh.
And even I had melanoma in my 20s and I won't take it.
Welcome to Mojo Co, the podcast for unapologetic midlife women who are done playing small, done guessing, and done fighting their body instead of understanding it. I'm your host, Katie Fleece, and this podcast is for women who are ready to get their mojo back, their confidence, their power, and the connection to their body back. We talk hormones, confidence, body image, relationships, and real life with zero filters and absolutely no BS. Nothing is off limits here. If you're ready to feel powerful in your body again and remember who the heck you are, you're exactly where you belong. Let's go. I have to sit facing this way because my right eye is twitching. So if you notice a little twitch in my eye,
don't be alarmed. Why?
Girl, I got like 0 hours of sleep last night, and then I was on my way home from the gym this morning, and I was like, oh my gosh, my eye won't
And just that one side?
Just this one side.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Our fan decided to make this really awesome noise in the middle of the night, and I couldn't sleep. It was obviously bothering Dustin too, because he moved down on the couch, but I was too lazy to get up and actually move rooms.
I'd rather just stare at the ceiling away.
Rather just stare, and be awake the whole time. So anyways, between beef jerky and eye twitch, it's going to be a good episode.
Trust us with your lives.
Well, on that note, let's talk about peptides, shall we? Oh my gosh, there's really no good transition for that.
No.
So we're just going to go with it, you know? Okay, so peptides. Peptides are all the rage.
Yeah.
I do feel like more and more people are learning about them and trying to understand them and utilizing them as opposed to even just a few years ago. But what exactly are peptides? For those listening, what are they?
Yeah, so just kind of by definition, a peptide is a short chain of amino acids. So back to high school biology class. So proteins are a big molecule that are made up of amino acids. And between those things are peptides.
Yeah.
So anything that's a short chain can be called a peptide. The buzzwords right now are about ones that are signaling things like body fat loss, better sleep, those sorts of things are the ones that are really popular right now.
Yeah.
But peptides as of a class have been around forever.
Yeah.
And what they do is they're just signaling molecules. So the way I learned it in nursing school was it's like you send a little text message, like you send a little peptide, it delivers a message, tells the cell what to do, or even a whole organ system. So it's just a little message that gets sent.
Got it. So we have them in our bodies.
Yes. Yeah. So naturally, we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of peptides floating around, sending messages, telling cells what to do all the time.
Yep. Okay. So why are they so popular now? We're seeing kind of this, like I said, just more people are talking about them. Why are they so popular now, especially in perimenopausal, menopausal women?
Yeah, so there's been a big shift, I think, just in the whole medical ethos lately of wanting to do things more naturally, as opposed to synthetic medications that have always been around. And if you can make peptides that are more a mimic of what we naturally have in our bodies, people tend to like that.
Yeah.
So these peptides that are being offered typically through an injection can mimic what's going on in the body. And there's really good ones that can mimic what we start to lose as our hormones decline through perimenopause. Like as estrogen and even progesterone start to decline, sleep gets really tough for people.
Yeah.
We were just talking about sleeping last night was not great.
That's why, hence why my eye is twitching.
Yes, exactly. So it can do things like sleep. It can do things like body composition and start getting some of those signals, those text messages back out to the cells that we're starting to lose while we're aging.
Got it. So these are things that the bodies all naturally produce anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
We're just giving it a little boost.
We're just giving it a little boost.
A little 5G signal.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I like that. I look at you and your analogies. Oh my gosh. Text messages and 5G. You're speaking my language. Okay. So I think this is where a lot of people get peptides and hormone replacement therapy and all of it kind of blurred together because it's a lot of information, right? So are peptides a replacement for hormone therapy, or are they something different?
Something different.
Okay.
So hormone therapy gives us the exact hormone molecule, and it has specific jobs to do. Some of them can be helped by peptides, but they're different. So if we give a woman estrogen, it's going to do all of the estrogen functions in the body, where a peptide may just be one or two of those that are being signaled for individually.
Got it.
So one certainly doesn't replace the other, and they tend to work together really well. They both kind of improve the results of the other.
Hormones and peptides together.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, let me ask you this. I think I know what your answer is going to be, but I don't know. I should probably ask just in case people don't know. Does it matter where you get your peptides?
I'm so glad you asked. So not Amazon. Okay, so peptides. So these are things that are typically not FDA approved. And let's talk about what that means. So FDA approval is done for a lot of commercial drugs that are made by pharmaceutical companies. Wonderful. I think that's a super important function of the FDA. Not everything goes through FDA approval. Aspirin is not FDA approved. I still take it. The ingredients that go into aspirin are FDA approved, but the drug itself has not been through the process, so it does not have that stamp of approval. A lot of drugs that we take. So these peptides are not FDA approved, but if you get them from a medical source, through a specific type of pharmacy, 503A, 503B, through a medical provider, that guarantees that the ingredients that have been used to make it are safe, they're sterile. Those ingredients themselves are known to be safe for human consumption. If you get it from your gym bro, or like through some sketchy online website or something, it will likely say research grade. The vials even come and say not for human use. Literally put it on the vial, and people are still injecting them. And that's because whatever ingredients they're using have not been shown to be safe.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
don't get it from Amazon.
Correct. Or don't call me for your complications when you do.
Right. Exactly.
So that's a huge difference of where they come from, because something can be labeled as tesamorelin is a popular, amazing peptide. They may still both say tesamorelin. But depending on what ingredients and where they come from can give you completely different results and safety profiles. Based on where you get them.
So it matters where 100%. You get them from.
Yes.
100%. Okay. So don't be getting them off.
So don't
Don't meet anybody in the back alley.
Locker room at the gym.
Red flag.
Hello.
Although we laugh, but like
it's really not that funny.
But
people do it all the time.
All the time. You just said before we even started recording that there's this dude that just hands them out like candy at the gym. It's like,
please stop.
Okay, so just kind of piggybacking off of that. Why is it important to get them from a medical provider?
So twofold. So kind of like we were just talking about, to guarantee the safety of whatever you're putting in your body, that you know where those have come from. They've been through like this whole vetted process. Compounding pharmacies are regulated at the national level for safety, sterility, all of the things. But then secondly, you need somebody, these are medications. These are like affecting pathways in the body. They're affecting other drugs you may be taking, prescription, over the counter, and you need somebody to keep an eye on how your body is responding. And these things typically, like all medications, get broken down either in the kidney or the liver. So you need somebody keeping an eye on vital organs. Be doing blood work and making sure everything's okay. So it's those two things, quality and safety, and then also how it's affecting everything in your body.
So if you are on peptides and maybe even like HRT or whatever, how often should you be getting your labs drawn?
So I typically like to do my patients before we start, 3 months, 6 months. And then if everything looks good, then we can go to 6 months from there.
Got it.
I keep a little bit closer eye on it first just to see how you're adjusting. And then we can spread it out.
All right, quick pause to talk about my company, Mojo Co. Because this deserves a moment. Mojo Co was built for midlife women who feel off in their body and are just tired of being told to eat less, move more, and deal with it, all right? Women battling hormones, belly fat that comes out of nowhere, low energy, mood swings, and the constant feeling of, why do I not feel like myself anymore? Now look, this is not a basic fitness program, and it is definitely not built by gym bros or 20-year-old influencers. Mojo Co was built for women by women, designed specifically for this phase of life. Inside, we don't guess. We don't punish your body. And we don't hand you another plan that you gotta figure out on your own. We look at the full picture. Hormones, metabolism, stress, lifestyle, everything that you need all under one roof. Because you are never too old to get your mojo back. I can assure you that. And you also need support from someone that actually understands the female body at this stage of life. So if you're ready to feel strong, sexy, clear-headed, and confident again in your body, and you're done with all of the free or cheap BS out there and you want a forever solution, you can apply by clicking the link in the show notes. All right, now let's get back to it. What are peptides typically used for?
Yeah. So again, a wide range of things, but typically in the kind of perimenopause world, we do a lot for body composition. So decrease fat, increase muscle, which is so good for so many things, right?
Yeah.
Like we were just chatting about metabolic health, body composition, just all of the things that muscle helps with. Sleep is a big one, especially as sleep starts to decline through perimenopause. Peptides can help a ton with women's sleep, which is important for brain health and recovery and all the things.
Eye twitches.
For example, we need to up yours. It can also help a lot with recovery. So post-gym recovery, you know, if you just like smash your legs one day and you can't walk for 3 days, like maybe we should shorten that recovery time a little bit. So those signals, the peptide signals will go to the muscles and be like, hey, we have a little damage here, which is what you want when you lift, right? It tears up the muscle, but then it will get recovering more quickly. So any of those sorts of things, it helps with brain fog, just all sorts of cognitive processes. Like if you're like, ooh, what was that word? You know, you can't think of that word. All sorts of things like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who is not a candidate for peptides? Because not everybody is.
Correct.
Or should take them. So can you just give us some like insight into who these would not be good for?
So my first, it's a hard no, pregnant or breastfeeding. We're not touching those.
Okay.
Which typically
makes
are
sense.
perimenopause, but you get pregnant in menopause. So
Girl, I know a lady who got pregnant in her 50s.
Yes. I tell my girls that all the time. I'm like, ladies, listen.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's still eggs.
What? Whew. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
So she's not going to get them.
Yeah.
So
that girl's not going to get them. Okay, got it.
So that's a hard no for me.
Okay.
And then once we look at labs, kidney disease, depending on kind of stages, liver disease, just depending on where peptides are broken down. Those are the two biggest ones for me. And then if there's any sort of like weird tumor sort of things, adrenal issues, you know, they're kind of one-off cases. But for the most part, peptides are super safe for just about everyone. There's a specific one, NAD+, that's super popular right now. And it's a hard no for anyone with a cancer history. And that's not talked about enough at all.
Why is that?
It can increase the risk of recurrence and it can increase new growth.
Oh my gosh.
And even I had melanoma in my 20s, and I won't take it because even if it was like, I'm not touching it. And it's such a popular product right now that you can literally buy online and nobody's having that cancer conversation. It scares the shit out of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So things like that is another reason why it's important to have a medical provider that understands the complications and potential risks. Instead of like, oh, NAD is going to increase your energy. Order it now for buy one, get one free shit. You know what I mean?
BOGO! What's that? Black Friday sale! Okay, so can peptides replace good fitness and nutrition?
Oh, I wish. But the answer's no.
Would that be amazing? Everybody would be on peptides.
Yeah. So it is definitely just like a bonus boost, right?
Yep.
If you had to choose peptides or nutrition fitness, it's nutrition fitness all day.
Yes.
Our bodies aren't going to hear these little text messages if your cell phone's turned off because your body is garbage, right?
Such a good analogy.
Right? I'm going with this text message.
You are really
I'm this one.
flying with
the
this
Alani's
one.
kicking in.
I love it.
So it's not going to do anything. It really is. And it's going to be wasting your time, your money, you're poking yourself. The others got to be there with it.
Okay, speaking of pokes, there's different, I'm assuming there's different kinds of peptides, like different ways to deliver them. So injecting, is there pill form?
There can be. There's also a nasal spray, which is interesting.
Really?
Some can be absorb like through the mucosa in your nose.
Okay.
There's some that's called a troche. It's like kind of like a little waxy, and you put it like in your cheek, and it dissolves and goes straight in the blood system. Typically we avoid a pill because then that has to go through the liver to get filtered. So it goes through that like first pass metabolism. Yeah. Where injection or nose spray doesn't have to go through the liver. So it tends to be a little safer.
So you prefer those ways?
Typically injection.
Yeah. I've only seen, actually, no, I have seen the troches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only done the injections.
That's all I do. And that's usually where I start people. And people do great with them.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of ladies are going to ask this, but which peptides typically work best for, like, if your goal is fat loss? Yeah. Is there particular ones that you would recommend?
So there's two that really stand out to me. The first one is everyone's current favorite. The GLP-1s are really good if you have an insulin resistance issue. Yeah. Because it will help with insulin sensitivity. Yep. As long as you don't get appetite suppressed enough that you're not getting your protein. Yeah. That's always the priority. Yeah. I will yank a GLP-1 if people aren't getting their protein in. Yeah. Because that's got to be the priority. Yeah. And then there's a really good one called tesamorelin. Mm-hmm. Any of the like Morlins, any of those really are great. Yeah. Sermorelin, tesamorelin's my favorite. Ipamorelin's another one in that family. Yep. And that one is phenomenal for fat loss. Yep. You do it right before bedtime. You also get like it triggers a release of growth hormone. Mm. It's not a growth hormone, so you don't have those risks that come along with like injecting like human growth hormone. Right. But it stimulates your body's own natural release, which helps you sleep better at night. Yeah. It helps with nighttime recovery of muscle and everything else. And then helps with fat loss. Fat loss. Yep.
Okay, let's pause really quick and talk about GLP-1s. Yeah. Because they are all the rage. Yes. Everybody's talking about them. Some people, I mean, you're walking down the street and you can like tell. Like, oh my gosh. Yes. Or like watching the Grammys and you're like, okay, so let's talk about GLP-1s. Yeah. You and I both are not against them.
Correct.
Heck, you prescribe them.
Yes.
However, people abuse them.
Yes.
And so I want to stop there and just pause for a quick second. When doing a GLP-1, what are some of the dangers to look out for, and why so many people are experiencing like rapid weight gain once they come off of them, or, just like honestly look like shit. Like they look like a melted candle on them, because they're not using them correctly. So talk to me for a second about like what abusing them looks like.
Yeah, I think big red flags that I would look out for is if you're not having a medical evaluation before you're getting it. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure everything else looks good. And I keep track of my clients' body composition. So one of the big things that can happen, one of the like mechanisms of a GLP-1 is it will decrease appetite, helps keep your gut full longer. Yeah. And that can be a huge benefit for people.
Sure.
But if your appetite is so decreased, so suppressed that you're eating 600 calories a day and you can't even eat like a piece of protein because you get nauseated, it's just horrible. Yeah. People start losing muscle mass, which when you break down muscle is hard on your kidneys. Because your kidneys are filtering out all that broken down protein.
Which affects your metabolism.
Like, and then all the things. And you also have to worry about bone strength. So bone is a big one for women, especially as we lose estrogen. 1 in 2 women will have a hip fracture. Like you or me. Like 1 in 2 is wild to me.
I really hope it's you.
I know. It's like rock, paper, scissors. We're going to see.
It's a race.
But that's another thing that can happen with the GLP-1s is that you've got to keep an eye on bone strength, on just body composition overall. So I think as long as it's done with those things being monitored by a medical professional, I think they can be amazing for people. And one of the things that a big conversation right now about if you should be getting them from the pharmaceutical manufacturers or compounding pharmacies. One thing I really like about compounding pharmacies is I can tailor the dose to my individual patient. Yeah. I don't have to give them as much of the minimum dose as pharmaceutical companies. Yeah. I can give them even less just to help with that like metabolic, the insulin part of it, which makes a huge difference in inflammation throughout the whole body. Yeah. And all those sorts of things.
So it's just like anything else. Like you were just saying about, just peptides in general, like it does not replace fitness and nutrition.
Correct.
Ever.
And that's another big part of it. You mentioned the rapid weight gain afterwards. So I think that's twofold. I think it's coming off the drug appropriately, so titrating it down with your provider,
Yeah.
right? Not just like, I'm cruising along and then I just cold turkey.
Yeah.
Because then your body's like, well, what are we going to do now?
Right.
Then it's going to grab onto everything and store it.
Yeah.
And it's also using it as a tool to develop habits, right?
Yes.
If your struggle is, I'm trying to transition my like nutrition and fitness, but I'm in this just food obsession, this like food noise that we tend to get.
Yeah.
It really helps quiet that food noise in the brain.
Yeah.
So if you can use it as a tool while you're making the lifestyle changes, then you don't worry about that at the end game.
Right.
You titrate off.
Right. I mean, I think there's so many benefits to them. I really do. But also on the flip side of that, we've seen it every day. People just abusing them and just not using them correctly.
We have a good family friend that ended up in the ER with kidney issues because she was prescribed it by her family practice. Good luck, go get them. Literally never followed up, never did labs, never had a conversation about protein, nothing.
Yeah.
And she just not eating, muscles coming off, kidneys are struggling to process it, ended up in the ER, hospitalized for a few days.
Gotta be monitored.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's like people are just handing them out to hand them out. Okay, with no plan. You gotta have a plan.
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody's listening to this and they're like maybe interested in starting peptides, what should they do? Yeah,
I think you've got to find somebody that is in the peptide world. I don't think it's go to your family doc and say, hey, can I try this? Whether it's a GLP-1 or it's the, secretagogue, like the tesamorelin sort of things.
Yeah.
I think you need to find somebody that's specifically educated in peptides that understands the current research. Because there is so much good research, but it just doesn't get to everyone. And to be fair, family doctors are so busy. They have so much to take care of. And this is just not their chosen specialty.
That's not their expertise.
And that's fine. You've got to find somebody that's chosen this type of medicine. And if they're not doing labs and doing a medical history at first, thank you for your time, but you're not for me.
Next.
So I think, you've got to find somebody that's willing to invest the time and energy in you before just prescribing something. And come up with a plan. Right? If you call an office and you're like, hey, can I get this? And they send it to the pharmacy.
Right.
I need someone to take care of me. Right. Like, somebody that's willing to do that.
And it just so happens that, that's what we do here at Mojo Fit Co. So if you're interested, just go to mojofitco.com and apply.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. It's really that simple.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that was really insightful.
Yeah, it's good.
You're so good at this
so
kind
much
of stuff. There is a lot. There is a lot to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I would say to people is just find the right person that's going to do it the right way. You're not buying it off of, some Joe Blow off
you're not
the
doing your own
street.
dosing. And there's medication interaction. You don't know.
Yeah.
There's
you got to do
this
it
for you.
the right way. And obviously that's also going to lead to the best results.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Instead of you trying to do it yourself.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Going on Amazon.
Yeah.
So. Amazing.
Perfect.
All right, girl. Well, thanks for joining me
Thank
again.
you.
All right, this is where all the cool kids hang. So
Come
we'll
on
see you
back.
next week, right? Bye. Let's do this.
I was just eating beef jerky in the car, and I was like, it's so messy. Oops. It's like my favorite gas station food right now.
Clean myself up here.
Everything's fine.
Oh my gosh.
You have to edit that a little bit.
So funny. That'd be a good blooper. I was eating beef jerky in the car.
It's all fine. Very professional. Everything's fine. Beef crumbs.
Jerky in my teeth. Oh my gosh. Whew. All right. Well.